My name is Josh Holden, and I live in Denver, Colorado. Have you ever heard the saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life? Well, I'm living proof of that. I own Colorado's oldest haunted house, along with a chain of escape rooms and e-commerce websites. I'm also an extreme sports junkie and addicted to traveling the world. What is up, guys? On this episode, we're actually recording a podcast. I got invited onto a River of Suck podcast with Andy Reinhardt. And it's all about having to suck at something before you get good. And this episode is on fear, and what better place to shoot a fear podcast than at Colorado's oldest haunted house. So we're actually going to get ready and roll down to these mine shafts and record this podcast. This week, we did not get to do any crazy adventures. It's been one crazy week, getting everything lined up for the Frightmare Compound to open here in the next month. And yeah, we had KS-1075 shoots. We had a big investigation done out here on the barn, paranormal investigation on Friday night. So it's been a wild, wild week and didn't have time to sneak away. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started on this podcast.
Join the River of Suck swim team for $1 a month at riverofsuckswimteam.com. My name is Andy Reinhardt.
My name is Josh Holder. You can't fake the real stuff.
No.
So yeah, it's, we've got everything from mining equipment to wrecked airplanes to boom trucks and real coffins. Like in our cemetery, all the headstones are real. Which, they're all mess up stones, that somebody's name was spelt wrong or something.
Oh, nice.
So but they're all real tombstones, so it's pretty funny.
I remember I was out by the tractor on your farm.
Yep.
And I had, I don't know what you would call it, something gnarly. I was holding something real gnarly.
Pitchfork or a scythe maybe, or
God, just heavy and weird
and metal probably, yeah.
And metal on the end. And some guy was like, "What if you actually hit me with that?" It's like, it would be a good death.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that cracks me up actually. The questions that come through here. One of the biggest question up front is when people come up and they go, "How do you know that some serial killer actually didn't break in and they're actually back there killing people?" And you sit there and you go, "Well, we don't. Good luck." And the people, the shock on their face is like, "What? You don't know this?" And then you send them in and they're just already peeing their pants.
Oh man. So there's like an illusion of certain death that you're kind of getting for the entire time that you're in here.
Exactly.
And you're saying that's tripping chemicals in your brain. People are
loving it.
They're feeling fear and loving it.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
It's these people, they pay to get scared and have that fear feeling and get that high, that dopamine high in their brain.
It's just so funny because in almost every other aspect of life, people are running away from it, and here they're running towards it.
They're waiting in line for it. Literally, yeah.
So I've talked to a fear and anxiety expert, talked to all kinds of people, and like Kristen Ulmer, she's a fear and anxiety expert.
Okay.
Her job is to help people move past it, because you're actually not going to get rid of it. Everyone thinks they're going to overcome fear, get the better of it. No, you can overcome a situation, but that fear is part of you. It's actually one of the oldest parts of the human brain.
Really?
Any animal brain. So
that makes sense.
Her theory is that if you embrace it as something that's good instead of running away, then you're actually just feeling your emotions more, and that's actually going to make you a happier, more well-adjusted human.
Interesting. Yeah, I need to go back and listen to this podcast because that's super interesting to me, and especially being in the business that I'm in.
Yeah.
So wow, that's crazy.
I call it living a fear-positive life.
I like that. I like that a lot. I need to use that one.
Yeah.
Especially out here.
You can have it.
I'm taking it, 100%.
We almost burnt the place down trying to turn it on.
True. Yep. This place has been sitting dormant for the past 6 months, and we tried to kick on an outlet and had electrical fire down here because it was underwater. Let's not do that next time.
No. So, okay. So a fear-positive life. There's two kinds of people who are in here. There's people who paid money to get scared, and there's people getting paid to scare.
Exactly.
What do we call these people?
Those are always the monsters. That's our monster team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, our actors out here. I mean, you can speak from experience. You've done it.
Yep.
You know, you have the people that come back year after year. I've got probably half of our crew out here that come back every year.
Yeah.
Just to scare. I mean, they get the same high as somebody getting scared. You know what I mean? To be able to watch somebody actually pee their pants, actually, just like fierce sweat and tears. So it's those guys get a high from it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking about this past Halloween season as I was wearing your masks and holding these aggressive looking weapons. This is helping me be a person. Like this is a healthy way to get out my weird dark side.
Exactly.
And I think everyone has a weird dark side, but the happier people, like the most well-adjusted, balanced people, are in touch with their dark side.
Oh yeah.
And they know about it and they don't run away from it.
Exactly.
So like, yeah, I'm gonna hide behind this tractor. I'm gonna pop out, and when you fall, like, there's people like falling down and their friends picking them up and they can barely
100%
keep moving on, but we got to keep it moving because there's more people coming.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's actually a pretty crazy it's a crazy experience to come out and actually scare people.
I just feel so good when that happens. Like, yes,
did your job. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the funny part is, so we hold auditions every year.
Okay.
And the auditions to be an actor out here at the Frightmare Compound, we want to make sure that people can actually do that. Mm-hmm. It's actually harder than you'd think to be able to get in somebody's face and be comfortable with it. But that's what you're saying with being in touch with your dark side. Like, being able to actually to play that out a little bit. These guys will have, I can't even tell you, we'd have 100 people out here ready to audition for these spots out here. And we'll put somebody in a position, we'll bring them down into the mine shaft, into a scene, and make them act out what they're going to do. Like, I want to see that you can get in somebody's face and scare them. And you'll have 10 people that come down, psych themselves out, and they can't do it. They totally walk away. They're like, "Yep, this isn't the job for me." So it's pretty crazy when you were saying, like, get in touch with your dark side, and it's so true. And some people can't do that, and they're super nervous and just don't enjoy it really.
You have to tap into it, and I think it's hard. Like, coming from a musician angle, like, I've been on a zillion stages in front of thousands of people, and I've played living rooms for a couple people. Anywhere you could play, I've been there. But I was really nervous the first time that I ever auditioned to be a scare actor, and they're like, "All right, be a zombie." I'm like, "Okay, this one's easy." I don't know about clown. Clown is hard for me. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not coming from an acting world. So the transition from being a normal person to like someone who's kind of like creeping around a corner
exactly
for fun, I actually thought it was not an easy transition to make. That moment you go in, you're like having the conversation, this is what's going to happen.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden you're in it and they're like, act. And you're like, I'm not an actor.
Exactly.
But actually, this is a good introduction into the River of Suck concept, which is you have to suck at something before you can be good at it.
100%.
So, I got in there. This was a different haunted house in Denver, which made me seek out a different one to work at next time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But, they're like, all right, we're going to do a scare circle. Everyone going to go around and scare. And I'm just sitting there. I'm sitting there terrified. And I made some sounds. And that very first night, I lost my voice completely for a week.
100%.
Like, oh, man. I was loud and I was scary. And I did it, but I sucked.
Yeah, your first couple times you do suck. Always. And that's literally, so Frightmare, we always try to open on like a Friday, Saturday, do like almost like a sneak preview, and then take a week off where our actors can go out and they know, okay, this is what I'm going to do. We're training them, doing everything, but
you overexhaust your voice, you lose your voice.
Yep.
So we give them that week to actually, okay, now I know I can't scream at the top of my lungs for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is pretty funny, but everybody does suck right when they come out. Well, I'll take that back. Not everybody sucks right off the bat. There's some people, man, I sit there and go, this guy actually might be killing people. Like, you are creepy. So I won't say everybody sucks right off the bat.
So check this out. You're on one side of the River of Suck. River of Suck is an imaginary river flowing through your mind. Behind you is your comfort cave. You're on your comfort shore. That's where you do all the things you already know how to do. Easy. Comfort zone. On the other side, you can see future versions of yourself. You can do the things you wish you could do now. But the problem is, in between there's a bunch of whitewater rapids, rocks, and thought piranhas. Thought piranhas, you know what I'm talking about. They're those like pesky thoughts that enter your brain, try and sabotage your good vibes. Like, you were in the zone, and then the thought piranha came and interrupted your moment of flow. Like,
Okay.
So that's the River of Suck.
Okay. I see, and I've been in that river many of times, and I just kept swimming, I feel like.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. You do have to, like, you could dip your toe in and run off. That's the people who come down here into this mine shaft and go, this is not for me.
Exactly.
Or you can jump in head first, start swimming, get bashed by the rocks, get bitten by the thought piranhas. My theory is people who quit, all people are capable of amazing things.
Of course.
But the people who are successful didn't quit when it was hard. And it's hard over and over and over and over.
Exactly.
So I guess I'd love if, like, tell me a story from your life where you felt like you swam across a river.
Oh, geez. Which story? I feel like I have so many rivers that I've gone through. Oh man, so you know, I'm a big entrepreneur. That's kind of my thing. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started lots of companies. I've failed lots of companies, and so I'd say you know, one of the big ones we did was we started a costume shop back in the day. You know, which I know nothing about costume shops. I'm a haunted house guy. I can scare people, and I was like, oh, that's a great transition.
Yeah.
You know, something that kind of ties in well. And so we went out. I bought $1 million in costumes, and ended up like Spirit Halloween style. You know, where you know, you go into the store, you pick out your costume, you roll. They're only open for 30 to 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, all my friends, everybody was like, dude, you're nuts. Like, what did you buy? Why did you do this? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. You know, I love pursuing new things. I love to get out and try new things and push myself, really. And so we actually started these costume shops, and I did 3 of them. I did one in Casper, Wyoming. I did one in Westminster, one in Cherry Creek. So 3 different locations a year, and you know, they're always in different areas. And we did, I think I ran that company for, I want to say 5 years before Amazon really became a big thing, and where you can get a costume delivered for $20 to your front door.
Yeah.
Which, you know, the costume shop industry now it's hurting from that. But that's why I actually ended up going, okay, this isn't for me. You know, I need to get out. But at the same time, you know, it was the same thing. I was in that river for 5 years, swimming, trying to make it happen, trying to do it. And it was a failed business, you know. But I learned a ton from it that I can actually apply to my other companies too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's definitely not a total loss at all. You know, it was a learning curve.
Yeah. So, back to being in here, I feel like I had a River of Suck with each character that you put me in.
We threw you in some random stuff. We always did something different. I remember that.
Yeah. I was the random. We were like, oh, what's your character? I'm like, I don't know tonight.
Exactly.
I'll find out in a minute. I was the scarecrow. I was the farmer. I was a zombie. It's funny. I remember at one point. I know it wasn't directed towards me because I was a farmer that night, but I remember at the end of the night, someone was like, guys, zombies don't talk.
Exactly. So that's funny you bring that up.
There's some zombies in the River of Suck.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Zombies in the River of Suck. That's also scary. No, and that's funny you bring that up, actually, because a position like you had, like we call them floaters.
Yeah. Okay.
And literally, which is cool because you could transition into like, okay, I'm not a zombie tonight. I'm gonna be like this nasty chainsaw massacre style family killing people. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And you could transition. But it's funny how many people can't do that.
Huh.
You know, we put them in their spot and one track mind. Like, I can only be a zombie. I don't know how to do anything else. And back to the river of suck. They don't want to. They don't want to suck at something because they already sucked at being a zombie. Now they're good at it.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to go back into suck zone again. So it's pretty funny. So you did well at that.
Oh, thanks. I like being a zombie on the bridge. You could no one ever. It's so funny. Like, you can see your eyes are adjusted. You could see these people coming. I'm like, oh man, they could totally see me. This is a dumb spot. Why am I even like behind this beam? They're gonna see me, and then they don't.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And their heart jumps out of their chest.
Exactly, yeah.
You grab it and you twist it.
See? You're already back in the zone.
Oh man, my haunted house character comes out like it's I feel better now that I've done this. Like, I used to be a little kid. I loved my dad my dad brought me to a haunted house for the first time. We would go. Oh, whoa! Now I'm going way back. No, my first haunted house was Wilson Farms, and it was like little family-run thing, and
Okay.
like, you know.
Where was this, in Colorado?
No. I grew up in Massachusetts.
Okay,
so
okay.
The guy in the monkey suit was the scariest guy to me then. But Massachusetts, like Colorado, I think is pretty serious about their haunted houses.
Oh yeah.
And I went with my dad every year to Spooky World. They had the haunted hayride. They had like 6 different haunted houses. I met Linda Blair from The Exorcist.
Oh, very cool.
I met the guy who played Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Very cool.
And it was like this lovely, awesome weird part of my childhood where I got really into horror movies, and then being able to come back to it from the perspective of the scare actor is so fun.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's something that we love to do every season. And I'm the guy out here picking up trash, taking Tylenol to the zombies. They have I'm the babysitter really out here, making sure everything runs good. But it's one thing that I always try to do it every year. Like, all right, tonight, if it's a slow night, Monday, Tuesday night, I'll go into the makeup garage, and have all the makeup girls get me all done up and get me into costume, where I can go out and screw around, because it's something that it's such a high to go scare people too. It's so fun to do, and it's a great way to burn some energy. I mean, you know how it is. It's a workout out there.
It is a workout. Yeah, you're sweating. You're outside, and we're in Colorado, so it actually gets kind of. I like this more than the warehouse vibes, because you can move and you don't feel like you're gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, some of them are so hot inside, and it's brutal. But again, out in Colorado too, sometimes it's freaking cold out here. Like, so bundle up, but you're out in the elements. It's cool. You've got the fog. You've got the, sometimes the rain, the snow. You're living actually movie scenes. You're going through and you're actually outside and outdoors in the elements.
Yeah, there's been snow out here. I remember people are like trying to stay up, and they're like, it's not safe. Tell the sand guy to put more sand down.
On the bridges and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Tell the bridge zombie, we need more de-icer. I almost fell back there.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be a good death.
Exactly. It's so funny, man.
So you've got real planes here. I mean, I've never been to anywhere that looked like this, and I think part of kind of instilling this vibe that's going on here is everything seems more real. It's not like you walk into a warehouse and it's like, oh look, the clouds. It's like, although you do have a clown warehouse.
True, we do have that.
But you've got real planes, you've got real tractors, you've got real weapons. So the fear, the illusion of death, imminent death, is like,
exactly.
It's real.
Well, there's always a big difference in haunted houses, and there's a reason we've been around for 36 years. Like, we spend real money on these sets, and we spend, I've got guys that work out here year round on the haunted house, where, you can have a fly-by-night haunt where they go in, they carve some foam props, and, like Spirit Halloween style, like.
Sure.
And don't get me wrong, like, they bring their own good things too, But this has really become more of a labor of love for me to install fear in people. So yeah, we work on it year round, and we make sure that it's all Hollywood style sets and props and real equipment out here.
So growing up, I want to know about what it was like growing up with your dad running a haunted house.
Dude, where do I start? It was pretty wild, actually. I remember, like, during, normal families would get packages delivered, your Amazon packages, all this stuff. Not this family. I remember getting coffins delivered to the house, like actual coffins, and the stuff that we would, the boxes that we were to open that would be from Trans World or from some of these other haunted house conventions. I'd be a young kid. I'd be 8, 9 years old, and you'd be undoing a box. I remember one of them was my dad bought one of the bodies from the Predator, the movie, of this guy that had actually been burned. And we were opening this box, and my mom, I just remember her going, "All right, kids, you got to go in the other room for this one," because it was so graphic and so gnarly. And just to, my mom tried to protect us as much as possible, but I'm screwed up anyway. So she, I remember having to go in the other room and then come back in, and they'd show us like, "All right, this isn't real." We're like, "No, I get it. It's weird," but yeah. So always getting to get those weird things to the house was always so fun for me, and. It's really, I haven't changed at all because I'm still like a kid. I always order stuff from Trans World, all these places. I literally just got a box yesterday, and I was going to do it on one of my vlogs, open some of them, but we ordered a bunch of new masks and stuff for this season.
Nice.
And it's sitting in my office, and I'm like, God, I just want to go open it. See, because I don't remember what's in it. So I'm stoked. But yeah, that's, it was always weird growing up here, but it was cool too. I mean, this was my backyard.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up, I live on site. For everybody that doesn't know that, the Frightmare Compound is actually my house. I live on site here at the Frightmare Compound, and Frightmare goes all the way around my house. So, growing up here, we've got 5-6 acres up here where we play hide and go seek with neighborhood kids that would come down, and I mean this was the coolest place ever to live. I mean, you couldn't dream this up. You have 10 people come over on a Friday night to play kick the can or some of these stuff where we go back in the haunted house and hide. Like, super cool.
I mean, you got hiding spots built in.
Oh my gosh. Well, think about being a security guy out here. Like, it's all like hidden doorways.
Oh, yeah.
And so yeah, walking around out here, there's always a new hiding spot.
So in a way, when you took over the family business here, you'd already made a lot of mistakes. Were you working it as a kid?
Oh yeah. So I think I started working my first year as a scare actor. So I want to say I was 12 years old, and
yeah.
I could have been younger, to tell you the truth, but I would beg my dad, me and my best friend Darren, I would beg my dad, like, I want to go out there, I want to do this. I mean, that's, I'm sitting here watching all these guys.
You've been through it, right?
Oh, 100 times.
Yeah.
And I know all the actors out there. I know them by name because I know them before they get, dressed up. But, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And my mom was always scared. You would have drunk people coming through and people getting hit. And there are issues that do happen, And being a 10, 12-year-old kid, my mom's like, there's no way I'm going to let you work on a Friday night when there's all these drunk morons running around. And so my dad built this scarecrow that actually fell on people. So you would come with, people would like crouch down like, oh no, that's, it's falling on me. So that was always my job. I'd push this scarecrow over and pull it back up and wait for the next group. And I remember getting stuff ready. I would take chips out like in our little hiding spot and get our spot all ready for the night to go out there and work, like all excited. Me and my best friend Darren out there, like. It was always a cool thing for us, and my dad always made sure to make these cool spots for kids where somebody going through the haunted house wouldn't be able to see that it's a 12-year-old kid operating this.
Yeah.
Not that scary, but
I mean, that's low tech. You're talking about ropes, but if it works and it's a real scarecrow,
dude, that was back in the day.
I think it's better than these I don't know how much they cost. These giant animatronics that when you pass them, you're like, oh. Yeah, because when I'm going through a hunt, if I see a giant monster, unless it's placed really well, like, you see it and it takes me out of it. It's like, oh, that's a machine, that's not scary.
See, and I'm kind of the same way. Out here at Frightmare, we don't do a lot of the animatronics. We don't do a lot of the big props like that. I mean, for me, it's not realistic.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, you are supposed to be in a fairy tale world, you know, where you're not really in fear, or not really gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, you're safe, but you're in fear. So, yeah, it was just one of those things, you know, where we just don't really do all the big props and whatnot. Like, yeah, just, I don't know. For me, I'm the same way. I don't really like them.
This is scarier than a 25-foot robot.
I agree with you.
And
that,
I am holding a pickaxe that's covered in rust, and it looks like it's from 100 years ago.
it probably is.
And you're holding
A head.
a head.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not complaining about it either.
No, he doesn't have a choice anymore.
Oh.
But yeah, like in this camera, if you can see in the camera here, like the tongue and everything is super realistic, super gross. If you ran across
Here,
that,
hold it that way.
yeah, exactly. And if you would see this in the forest somewhere, I mean that's real. You know,
yeah.
you would freak out. And it does have some gross blood stuff on the
It feels
inside
good
of
to
the
hold
mouth.
this thing.
You're back in it. See, you're already getting those crazy eyes. Exactly. That's too funny. Also scary. Don't let that fall. I got sandals on.
Oh yeah. Well, I knocked that hammer onto almost
Exactly.
onto your head earlier when we were setting this up.
Yeah, sandals aren't really a good thing out here.
Do you ever get afraid back here, or do you just?
You know, you always, so I'll be back here working at midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, doing lights, sound check, you know, making sure everything's legit. And you always hear stuff. I mean, we're also on a 6-acre property where there's lots of cats and coyotes and you name it, there's stuff moving around. And so you always psych yourself out. You can't help it, you know? Like, you're sitting here working and I don't know if a cat or whatever, like, runs past and you see something out of the corner of your eye. You're like, did I really see that? No, I'm getting in my own head. No, I won't do this. So you get psyched out. It's also one of my favorite parts is our crew out here, my team out at Frightmare. Dan, I'm gonna call you out on this, Mr. Dan Toliver. Exactly, calling you out. Dan is 6 foot, 250 pounds, not a small guy. And he literally, like, he'll be out here, and I can hear him. Like, I'll be in the house, and I can hear him out here working. And, of course, I'll get a wild hair. I'm like, I'll go see what Dan's up to. And so I'll go outside, and if he doesn't see me coming, I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity. I have to scare him. And I'll go up, and I'll scare him. You know, I'll duck into, like, one of the moss caves or something and scare him. And Dan screams like a girl. He screams like he has a great scream. Like, we need to record it for this. It's so good. But after that, he's always like, dang it, dude, now I'm done. Now I'm psyched out. I can't work out here anymore. You already got my heart going. I'm like, shoot, I shouldn't have done that. Now I lost you getting this project done.
He doesn't manage to get you back though?
He's got me. What was the last time? He got me one of these last times that, you know, he got a pop out scare on me and just couldn't help it. I wasn't expecting it. So yeah, always something out here.
So what makes a good scare?
You know, it's different for everybody. We always say, you know, for our actors, everybody wants to do a pop-out scare. Everybody wants to be around a corner, something where nobody can see them.
Yeah.
And they pop out and get that scare.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to do it. But you also have all these other scares that you have people that if you follow behind somebody, some people just freak out on just being a quiet guy, just dragging maybe that pickaxe across the rocks.
Let's make this sound for them.
Yeah. Exactly. And to tell you the truth, like, somebody following you like that will psych out somebody so much and plays a different part on scaring them, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody scares differently. You know, you have your biggest fears in life. You have claustrophobia, where we have a lot of tight spaces through like the moss cave and everything, where it's single file, and I mean it's you're touching shoulders on both sides, and some people just can't handle that stuff. You know what I mean? Like claustrophobia, we have Another big one are insects and snakes. Shoot, we had a girl. So this is a fun story. This is probably like 5 years ago. I bought a bunch of Madagascar hissing cockroaches, live ones, and those things, if you Google that, they're gnarly, they're scary, like, and they can't hurt you. They don't bite, they don't do anything. But those things crawling on you, oh my gosh! And I hated them. I absolutely hated them. But I had this actor down there. It's in the bottom of the barn. It's supposed to be the basement of the house, and it's just this kid with insects, and he would play with them. They'd be crawling up and down his arms.
Whoa!
First of all, it's gnarly. But we bought this bucket of rubber cockroaches. And so he'd have real ones crawling on them, and then he'd throw some on people. And, girls, they'd get them in their hair, and they freak out. And the kid, I still remember this kid to this day. He loved that job because this is probably the second or third night he was in there. He throws a cockroach on this girl, and she rips off her clothes because she thinks it's in her clothes, and she's literally running around in her underwear and bra, running around screaming, thinking these cockroaches are on her. And he, to this day, he's like, "This is a great job, man. I'm gonna keep this one." I'm like, "All right, man." Yeah. So it's there's different ways to scare people, and sometimes pop out scares don't work, and then you have a rubber cockroach that makes you rip off your clothes and start running.
Yeah, well, you put these actors in these positions and hope they'll swim, right?
Exactly.
And like, I can remember definitely being put in some. Okay, so I worked at a different one 2 years ago. I worked at the 13th floor, and I remember one of the first places. Once I did this, they wouldn't let me do anything else. There's like a front room. I was like the first person you saw. So my job was to scare people who'd already seen me, which is like, oh, hard. This is different. I'm not hiding in a closet going boo.
Exactly.
Except we're not allowed to say boo.
Yeah, exactly.
Rule number 1.
Yeah.
But, how do I scare these people? And so I started sniffing them. I started doing stuff like, oh, how do I make someone feel uncomfortable? Which is a skill that hasn't served me any purpose other than being a scare actor and having a lot of fun.
But you're right, though. But
the creep out, that's harder. That's way harder.
I think so too, and that you can't teach that. Like you need guys that are actually comfortable doing that. That's part of the reason we do auditions. Because you put somebody in that position and you're better than most, so I'll give you that. That's why we always moved you around. But you put somebody in that position and they're not comfortable, they're not going to be scary.
No.
And that's and there's nothing worse than having an actor that sucks.
So that happens.
Oh my gosh!
And that's part of your river of suck of running it is like dealing with that, right?
Oh, 100%. And so we'll have people that they're down here and they're trying, and you got to respect that. So we'll come down here and just work with them and train them. And hey, this is how you're supposed to do it. And swing your arms, like you're gonna claw at them. And,
oh yeah.
But it's you have people that just can't cut it, which are why we have auditions.
Yeah, I remember being told that this was maybe my first night as a scare actor. They're like, "You look really stiff." I was wearing a suit jacket that was like a steampunk suit jacket. They're like, "You look really stiff. You got to move your shoulders around." So I started moving my shoulders. I'm like, "Oh,
this was good."
Yeah, oh yeah. And I've kind of had this signature face for a long time.
Probably your whole life. I like that face. Yeah.
This is the face I've been making a long time just for fun, just like. What's
exactly.
Up?
That's your go-to.
And I realized real quick, oh, this is a good haunted house face. I have this one in the bag.
Exactly.
It doesn't work behind a mask though.
True. And tell you the truth, some guys having a beard and stuff, it helps out here. Most actors want to cover their face. They want, you know what I mean? And but having beard and face hair, and you got some of these guys, you're like, dude, you're not wearing a mask. I want a bearded dude down here. That's the look. We're gonna put blood and gashes all over you, but I want that beard down here. So it is always funny to watch people, and it's easier to get in character when you have a mask on, when you're totally done up. But when you're supposed to be a real guy, like a chainsaw guy, a normal dude. You're a normal dude. But
Dark side dude.
Dark side dude, exactly. You're actually psycho. Yeah, but it's hard for somebody to get in that zone too. Like you're what we want right now. We don't want something super big and scary. We want just the psychopath.
Huh. So what about clowns? Why are you afraid? Dear listener, are you afraid of clowns?
So clowns, I don't know what it is. I've never been afraid of clowns, but you know, you have all the old school movies of It and Clowns from Outer Space and all these
I love that one.
Old movies, you know, that people to this day are just terrified of clowns. And so out at Frightmare out here, you know, clowns really they don't fit out here. You know, like when you're sitting here, oh, I'm in a mine shaft, now there's a clown, like kind of weird. So we actually have a whole separate area called the House of Darkness. It's a whole separate floor, a whole different area of the haunt that you go into. And you tell you the truth, man, people freak out. And I don't know what it is. Like clowns aren't something that scared me, but I'm gonna say 8 out of 10 people, they're just uneasy with a clown, which is pretty funny.
I noticed that those actors tend to be. Let this plane pass.
Yeah. This is why we have airplanes, wrecked airplanes at the compound, because the compound is actually right in the flight pattern of North Jeffco Airport. So that's why we have all the wrecked airplanes.
One could be falling right now.
And we wouldn't know.
Okay. What was I saying?
Something about the clown actors.
Oh yeah, I noticed a lot of your clown actors are like the high school kids. And I think they might be the kind of people you're talking about who, like, once you're a clown, like you're a clown.
Exactly. And that's the high school kids. It's 2 reasons. One is because they have a ton of energy, and we want loud laughing, running, screaming, jumping, lots of energy. Like those are the clowns that we love out here, like grungy clowns that just have energy. And what do? You give a high school kid a Red Bull energy drink and tell him to go jump off the walls, and he's stoked about it. So that's one of the reasons. But yeah, the other one with having these kids, once they're a clown, and they love it. I mean, it's all fogged out in there, playing the creepy clown music.
Yeah.
Once they do that, nobody wants to go back to being a zombie. I don't know why, if they're actually loving the high intensity and running and laughing, you know, or I don't know why, but most of the guys, you know, they want to be a clown and that's it. Or maybe that's the only thing in their head that's scary.
It's the only thing I don't want to be.
Yeah, that's how I would be too. Like, I don't want to be a clown. Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, I would like to set the scene here, because I came here with my, at that time, fiance, Joy, who's now my wife. We came on a Wednesday night, and there were no people. It was like the beginning of October. We were the only people here. You have your parking lot greeter on stilts.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, he's actually really tall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's really, really tall.
With a giant head. Not a costume. Yeah.
And we walked in, and it was awesome. This was the best haunted house. This was, I guess, the year before I worked here. So yeah, we thought this was the best haunted house we went to all year.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Because every actor got us. It was awesome. But yeah, your clown house is like, it's called the House of Darkness. I've been through a lot of haunted houses, and I don't know about you, dear listener, but if you go through a lot of haunted houses, you're going to see a lot of clowns. And sometimes they're bright, sometimes they give you 3D glasses, sometimes it's like, it's well lit, and it's like, oh look, killer clowns, you can see them.
Yep.
Seeing them, but here, you've got the House of Darkness. You can't see anything.
Exactly.
There's so much fog. There's so much darkness. The House of Darkness is an apt name.
Yeah, exactly. You can't see your hand in front of your face.
No.
Like, you got to feel your way through.
Right. So I think that makes a big difference in the scary clown zone.
Yeah, and it's something about people and going into the unknown. You know, not being able to see where they're going.
Yeah.
And then having a clown pop up 6 inches from your face. You know, because these guys, they're, you know, their eyes are already adjusted to it. They know where, you know, how the whole thing's built, and they can see you.
Yep.
You know, so these guys can pop up right in front of you while well, you have no idea they're there. So it's actually, yeah, I think it's just fear of the unknown, of not knowing what's coming next, that these people just freak out on. It's so good.
I think I learned a lot about the human condition from scaring people, like, because not every, you can see them coming. Not everyone reacts the same, and I want people falling down. I want people running into their friends, knocking over barrels, whatever. But I don't know, because if I'm gonna do a job, I'm not gonna half-ass it.
No, exactly, and that's where you get your high though too, is watching these people run into each other and actually freak out. You know, that's the high of it for the actor.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to say, like, what if, it's now that I think about it, like, what did I learn about society? Okay, drunk people are annoying. They're really annoying, and little kids are great, and their parents are dumb for letting them come.
Except for like the 12 to 13-year-old tough guys that are on their dates, that they're always the toughest kid here.
Oh yeah.
You run into those guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah, the tough kids. They want to talk to you. They want to make you break character.
Oh, exactly. And they're 80 pounds soaking wet, and they think they can kick anybody's butt in here. Just so tough. I'm like, those kids always crack me up.
But once you have the talkbacks, that's the opportunity to take a different approach.
Exactly.
If I don't scare you when you first see me, it means now it's my job to, like, really follow you, because probably no one else has been scaring you. So now I'm gonna pick on you a little more.
Exactly. You got to get in that psychologically, screw with them, doing the sniffing, doing the following behind. Some people, freak out when you have crawlers. People are on hands and knees, and you got to mix it up. Exactly. You're right.
You can't just be like, "Rah, tasty human,"
and then leave. Yeah. That's another one of our our rules. Follow through. You gotta follow through. Don't just pop out and then reset. Stay in that character. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you're living that character.
So what do you tell? I mean, I know because I've been here, but what do you tell people when they've never done this before? How to do it?
It's different for everybody, and that's literally what we tell them is, like, you're gonna get down here and you're gonna feel dumb. You're going to come in here and go, what am I doing? We put you down in a mine. We put you, like, look at where we are now. I put you underground, dressed up like a weirdo, and you're sitting here going, no groups have come through. Yeah, this is your first night. You're going, what am I doing? You start psyching yourself out, which, if you're in the river of suck, you got to keep going. And some people, literally, they just pick up and go. They get in their head so much that they're gonna suck or they're gonna do this, which, a lot of these kids, they've never done it before, and it happens. But we come down and, we train them. We go, hey, we all feel the same way the first time you do it.
Yep.
You're all gonna feel like you're gonna suck at it, and you just gotta work through it. The more you do it, the better you're gonna get.
Once you get that first scare of the night, you're like, oh, I got this.
Oh, and that really, again, that dopamine starts dropping. You get a high from watching that person. You're like, yes, okay, now I get it. Let's do it. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, man. The river of suck in the mine shaft of suck.
Exactly. Dude, this place, that's funny you call it a river, because now that it's underground, you see where the water line is back there. Mm-hmm. This place actually fills with water. So this is, the rock here is right at the water table. You can see how it's all wet. When we were building this mine shaft, we had the bobcat down here, and I kept sinking my bobcat. And we'd have to literally fill in a little bit of rock and wait and see if the water would dissipate, because it's literally right on the water table. So yeah, this is the river of suck down here, because we have pumps that pump out this whole place. If it rains or snows in October, that's our biggest thing. Get out here by noon and start kicking on the pumps and pump out all the mine shafts. So it's pretty crazy. River of suck.
Yeah. I want to go back to, like, just people for a second. Like, what have you learned about people from trying to scare them?
We have people that came in 1984, and their grandparents are bringing their grandchildren now.
Oh wow.
So it's just really cool to see all these people that want to experience the same thing and show their grandkids, like, hey, this was the scary thing to do back in the day. This is where all the dates were. This is what we did on a Friday night. We'd go do this. So yeah, it is interesting to watch, but it's this place, we attract everybody out here. You name it, people come from, Denver Broncos players to Chuck Liddell comes almost every year. Celebrities come out here all the time, and it's just one of those things that people are chasing that high, that dopamine high of fear.
It's Colorado. People want to get high.
It's
more
true.
than one way to do it.
The funny part about that is the big thing out here used to be like tailgating and drinking before you go in.
Okay.
And now that marijuana's been legalized, it's so calm. Like on a Friday night, you got a 3-hour wait. We've got DJs and everybody going up front. We've got escape rooms, DJs, like some crazy stuff, big party going on. It was really wild. Now, I feel like everybody's high and it's really calm out there. Like it's so weird. Like to watch the difference of like party and drunk fights and this to nobody cares. They're happy.
Man, so here's a weird thing to think about. If you're coming here, you're paying money to feel fear. You're paying money so you can feel your emotions, and yet you're coming here as wasted as you can so you can suppress those emotions. What does that say about America?
100%. And some of these people have to do it to even enter, though. They get that liquid courage, and so I can't tell you how many of the mini shot glasses, the mini shooters.
Oh yeah.
Because people stuff them in their pockets and they wait in line for 3 hours.
Sure.
They're sitting here just killing these things, and people get up there just totally wasted. But liquid courage again, they have to psych themselves up because they're so scared to go in.
I'm not convinced those people are actually having the most fun when they're.
Oh God, no. No, I would guess they aren't, and most of them we end up carrying out or too drunk to even go in. We always make that call. Our front gate girls are always real good about making sure that if you've been overserved, not to come in. So
yeah, chainsaws. Can we talk about chainsaws for a second?
You want to talk about fear? That is probably our number one scare is the chainsaw.
Oh,
and I don't know what it is. I mean, people freak out. You have haunted houses that do it, like the electric ones, not scary. Out here at the compound, now it's outdoors, which you have to run a gas chainsaw.
Sure.
But I can't tell you how many people have left shoes. So picture, you're looking around right now, we're on rocks, and these people finish the haunted house running full sprint with no shoes on. And they don't even go back for it. So scared.
Where's the shoes?
If we go down to the chainsaw area, we just start hanging stuff up that's been left. They don't come back for lost and found. They go to lost and found. If they don't come back for it, we hang it up out there.
It's look at these victims.
Exactly. This guy lost his shoes. You must be real scared. And not to even come back at the end. They just got in their car and left.
Yeah.
Weird. That's actual fear.
Well, I don't want to spoil what's different about your chainsaw spot. Because I've been to a lot of haunted houses, and I've seen a lot of chainsaws.
Yep.
And you guys are in my top 2.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah, that's the one of the top 5 questions I'd say is, do we have a chainsaw? And I think that is the thing that people come for the most. They have that childhood memory of it. Like I said, we have grandparents bringing their grandchildren. And they have that memory of running and just that instant fear of you're walking, it's quiet, it's nothing big, and you hear that thing fire up, tell you, now these kids take off like there's no tomorrow, they're gone.
Oh
so it's classic. That's funny.
Nice. Well, I guess we could start wrapping her up. Do you have any questions for me?
Interesting. I don't right now. I feel like we've talked for the past hour.
I know, yeah.
I feel like we've got it all out.
Yeah.
We could probably still keep going because it's always an interesting topic on fear in haunted houses.
Do you go to other haunted houses to check out what they're doing?
So I actually travel around the world doing that. My off season, I've been around the world multiple times going to other haunted attractions and just attractions in general to see trends. What's trending now? What's going to be the next big thing? What do I need to have at the haunted house to make people enjoy their night? People come out to get scared, but they also, they're here. We've got escape rooms out here. We're doing a pumpkin smash this year. It's October. Get on the FrightmareCompound.com and come face your fears. Yeah, that's literally, if you guys are looking for something fun to do in October, this is something different than going to the movies, than going to dinner. And this year with COVID, we're going to be open. And there's so many things that have been shut down from concerts.
Outside.
Yeah, you're outside, and we
masks.
can social distance. Yep, exactly. So yeah, we're definitely going to be open this year, and it's, you know, a lot of the entertainment stuff got shut down this year. So yeah, this will be a great season for it. So definitely in October, man. If you guys are around in Colorado, come check it out. Always something weird going on. And airplane cue.
Now I gotta ask the question that prompts that answer.
Uh-oh.
Better than saying, so this is actually just an infomercial. That's why we edit.
I'm not
looking at you, future self.
I'm not editing anything. This is all coming on here.
Ah!
Dang it.
Hey,
You're like, really?
No.
You leaving all this? Yup.
Nice. If you want the real version. Okay. So if we want to come to the haunted house this year. Okay, that's your answer. But also you've got a YouTube channel. What's up with that? How do we follow you?
Yeah, so I'm actually, we just started a YouTube channel. It's called I'm Josh Holden. And it's actually a work hard, play hard channel that, you know, it's always us working out here on the haunted house, doing something fun. And then again, with Facing Your Fears, I'm always that guy that I'm out doing extreme sports stuff all the time, from hiking, snowboarding. I'm actually, after we wrap this up, I'm rolling down to do some river kayaking up in Golden. So I'm always trying to face my fears again. You know, that's something that we do all the time. We launch a new vlog every week, Tuesday at 6 p.m. So I'm Josh Holden. Come follow that thing.
Sweet.
Easy.
Let me say some bullshit for a second.
Prove it.
No one ever said crossing the river of Suck would be easy, or that you had to do it alone. So thank you for giving it a chance at the Frightmare Compound with Josh
.com.
.com.
Yeah.
With Josh Holden.
True. Oh, I love it.
Say this with me. Keep swimming.
Keep swimming. That was pretty good. I like it. Cool, dude. Easy.
Oh, you can't even pick him up by the hair. Oh, yeah.
Beer shot.
Nice.
Oh. Dude, this thing is like...
It feels... I felt like
Look at
I was
that
just
thing.
picking up someone's actual
Literally, yeah, it's so creepy. Oh. It's so gross. And it has like actual like blood in the mouth.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's gnarly.
All right, guys, that is it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We launch a new vlog every week, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. So, sorry about the chop job on the editing. Like I said, I didn't have a whole heck of a lot of time this week. It's been wild. Coming into haunt season always gets crazy. So, we'll see you next week.